dear doctors, welcome to the class of Kids Covery. Myself, Dr. Parv Luthra, and we are discussing the pediatric endocrinology. The topic of discussion in pediatric endocrinology for today is congenital adrenal hypoplasia. Congenital adrenal hypoplasia. So, congenital adrenal hypoplasia, I hope that you know that in congenital adrenal hypoplasia, the very good thing, the first thing is that it's a rare disorder. But whenever it happens because of underdevelopment of adrenal cortex. So the cortex is not formed properly, and I think you know that the cortex is something which is responsible for glucocorticoid, mineralocorticoid and testosterone synthesis. And if the cortex is not formed properly, of course there will be glucocorticoid deficiency, mineralocorticoid deficiency, testosterone deficiency, which is going to occur and which is actually called as primary adrenal insufficiency. Now, it usually presents in the infancy, it is usually present in the childhood, okay, and adrenal crisis is going to happen. There will be salt wasting. Why? Because there is no mineralocorticoids, there is decrease in the level of aldosterone, and that is why the NaCl is not getting reabsorbed. So it will lead to what? It will lead to your salt wasting. Then of course there's going to be less testosterone, that is responsible for hypogonadism, and because there is hypogonadism, we see that these children develop with the ambiguous genitalia. Okay, with the ambiguous genitalia. Most of the cases of adrenal hypoplasia, see, anything which is hypo means it is not there, cross, not. So this cross is similar to your X chromosome. This cross is similar to your X chromosome. So remember that the most common etiology is X-linked etiology, and it is actually seen, it is actually because of DAX gene. Okay, in India we call Daxab. So DAX is actually the gene which is there in the congenital adrenal hypoplasia. It is seen in the majority of the cases, which is of course associated with hypogonadotropic hypogonadism, and the baby is going to be either delayed puberty, absent puberty in case of boys, because it is X-linked. Sometimes we have seen that it is because of mutation in SF1 in the autosomal recessive forms. So what is going to happen? Of course, the glucocorticoids are less, mineralocorticoids are less, the cortisol is deficient, aldosterone is deficient. In both of these things will lead to salt wastage. Now, please understand that in X-linked forms, we have seen that the kids have got hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis is also defective. So there will be hypogonadotropic hypogonadism. This I think I have told you. So now understand, this is not because the cortex is defective, it is just because the axis is defective. So gonadotropin releasing hormone are also going to be decreased. Okay, gonadotropin releasing hormones are also going to be decreased. Okay, so if somebody is having decreased sodium, what is going to happen? Of course, if there is decreased sodium, there's going to be decreased water, responsible for shock, for hypotension, for dehydration, of course. And the very basic symptoms are going to be lethargy, failure to thrive, poor feeding, hyponatremia. And because aldosterone is responsible for sodium reabsorption, and you have got something which is called as potassium excretion. So if the potassium is not getting excreted, this is called as hyperkalemia, and hyponatremia is also going to occur. Okay, and of course hypoglycemia is also going to occur because your glucocorticoids are also not well formed. So what is going to happen? See, in hypogonadotropic hypogonadism, of course there will be delayed or absent puberty, which is going to be there. How will you diagnose? Levels: cortisol less, aldosterone less. Okay, ACTH is elevated, adrenocorticotropic hormones is elevated because of the negative feedback mechanism. Okay, now see what is the radiological investigations you do. You carry out ultrasound, you carry out CT scan, and there you will see that there are small adrenal glands or there are absent adrenal glands, and genetic tests like DAX1 and SF1 gene mutation is the confirmatory one. So how will you manage the case? Of course, glucocorticoid replacement like hydrocortisone is something which you can supply. Mineralocorticoid replacement, of course, fludrocortisone is something which you can supply, of course, given with the salt supplementation. And of course, the puberty is induction with the sex steroids is something which is given. Then let me just tell you a little bit about prognosis. that if you give the treatment, children can survive and grow normally. But if it is untreated, of course, it's a life-threatening adrenal crisis which is going to happen. Now, I just want you to read this. This is extremely important. Okay. Let me just tell you about a very secret trick to remember something. So this is the box which I'm trying to prepare, and wait for a second. Okay. So see, here I am writing the levels of mineralocorticoids. Here I am writing the levels of testosterone. Okay, mineralocorticoids, and here I am writing testosterone. So for example, there are three enzymes actually: 21 alpha hydroxylase, 11 alpha hydroxylase, and then you have got 17 alpha hydroxylase. So 21 is 2 like this, and 1 is there, so 1 is going to be increased. Then 11 is 1 and 1, so 1 denotes increase, and 1 and 7 means 1 is increased and 7 has nothing to do with it. So what I want to tell you, that if there is a 21 hydroxylase deficiency, then you will have increase in testosterone. If there is 11 alpha hydroxylase deficiency, then there will be increase in mineralocorticoids and testosterone also. And if it's a 17 alpha hydroxylase deficiency, there will be an increase in the mineralocorticoids. Let me just show you this. So if there is a deficiency of 21 alpha hydroxylase, I told you that there will be increase in amount of testosterone. You are getting it? If there is no 21 hydroxylase which is there, that leads to increase. See, if there is 21 hydroxylase deficiency, yani ki this pathway, that means this pathway is not going to get formed. So this pathway will be formed more, and this pathway is forming more. So that means your testosterone is going to get formed more. So as I was discussing that, if you are having, let me revise this table. If you are having 21 alpha hydroxylase deficiency, then your mineralocorticoids is not going to show any change, but your testosterone is going to be increased. And then if you have 11 alpha hydroxylase deficiency, then of course both of them, the mineralocorticoids as well as testosterone, will be increased. Whereas if it is 17 alpha hydroxylase deficiency, only the mineralocorticoids will be increased. So let me just show you this. See, if your 21 alpha hydroxylase is not functioning properly, 21 alpha hydroxylase is not functioning properly, then everything is going to go like this, and ultimately your testosterone level is going to get increased, number one. Then if your 17 alpha hydroxylase is not functioning, so everything is going to go in this manner, and your aldosterone levels are going to get increased. And of course, if your 11 hydroxylase is not functioning properly, then of course this pathway is going to function, and of course this pathway is also going to function, and your testosterone as well as your mineralocorticoids, both of them are going to get increased. Okay, so this is a small table, a beautiful gift from my side to you, so that the learning becomes easy and helpful. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next class.